It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Yes, please.
It sound like some tropical shit, man. Give me one of them pineapple salmon dishes or something. Yeah. Self-love at an all-time high. It's a feeling I can't even describe. Used to watch from the side, heart beating full of ego and pride. Scared of living, more fearful to die. Narrow minds had me second-guessing. It's suppression blocking my blessings, now I'm manifesting. Set intentions, the paper stretching, people asking questions. Bet they wonder what changed with me. Learn to switch to fit if it can't fit me, just stay with me, listen. Animosity gradually on the decline. Respiratory flowing when I recline. About to catch a flight, throw the peace sign. New city, new state. Shit, I'm leaving all my baggage in my suitcase. Money is rising, my skin looking vibrant. I'm moving with impeccable timing. It's more than just rhyming. All this beauty that surround me, plus we luxury dining. Only reason y'all be tripping, cause you nickel and diamond. Ooh, peep the je ne sais quoi. Feel the vibe. I'm just grateful that I'm still alive. I thank God, homie. You thank God, man. I thank God, man. Blessings. Yeah. Peep the je ne sais quoi. Feel the vibe. I'm just grateful that I'm still alive. I thank God. Yeah. We thank God, homie. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well out there this evening. Once again, happy Memorial Day. Hope everyone has had an amazing one. If you're with family, much love to you and them. And if you're by yourself chilling, much love to you. You feel me? However, it's working out for you. Now, in this particular video, we're going to be getting into Q from Day 26. Y'all know Day 26 used to be one of the groups that Diddy signed to Bad Boy. They had a whole TV show making the band. And his relationship with Don Rashard, who was a part of Danity Kane, also signed to Diddy, had the Making the Band show. All of them had that in common. And Q has come out with some new information regarding his relationship with Dawn back in the days, around the time she was with Diddy Dirty Money alongside Kalina and Diddy. He claims that Don Rashard slipped him a roofie, basically. You know what I'm saying? At the time they were dating, and he claims that his presence with Don was a little bit intimidating to Diddy. Diddy didn't really like him being around, didn't like him having verbal input on anything that was going on. Just didn't like him being around, period. Outside of the dynamic of Day 26, and I think he had already kind of discarded them as a group. So there was also that. Like, he was no longer an asset to him, as in Diddy. But he's still kind of around via proximity with Dawn and being a boyfriend and all that shit. So Q didn't feel like Diddy liked him very much being around, right? Not to mention, this is also a time where Dawn claims that Diddy was having a lot of control over what she had. She claimed that she was in fear. She claimed that, you know, her family, her father specifically, had been threatened by Diddy, that she was being inappropriately touched by Diddy around this time as well, during the Dirty Money era. So there's a lot of dynamics involved here. But he claims that one night him and Don were, you know, getting ready to I guess go back to the crib and have a night, we'll just say. And they were planning on taking some ecstasy. Okay? This was something that they both planned to do, he says, and he says that this is something that they had done together before, and it was spicing up their romance, right? He claims that rather than the pill that he was accustomed to receiving, Diddy had gave Don some red pills, and he said, "Get this to your man," right? Now, perhaps he was giving it to him, you know, like, yo, this that real shit, this that new shit. right? If y'all had a good time with the last shit y'all was on, this gonna take y'all through the roof. And I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just saying this is how it happened. So whatever the case is, Dawn shows up. She gives him this red pill that he was not familiar with, but he says he felt that it was going to be, you know, a similar experience to what he was used to with whatever they were taking before. However, Q says that this pill knocked him out cold within 20 minutes. All right. And he has no recollection of what happened after he knocked out. When he came back to, got back to his senses, woke up, he claims that he woke up in the basement of Diddy's house in the twins' room. Twins as in Diddy's twin daughters when they were much smaller. You got to think this is back in 2000. I don't know what year exactly. He'll talk about it, but somewhere between 2009 and 2011. They were just basically, small kids. He says he wakes up in their bed, this child bed, and there's cameras all around that are taping him. He doesn't know what happened before that. All he can recall is waking up and literally letting out a scream. And he sees these cameras filming him from different angles. Okay? So I'm guessing, Q has done quite a few interviews. He talks about a situation of being taped and being, kind of like blackmailed about a tape. Some people have, tried to say that maybe there's tape of him and Diddy intimately. He's never given any credence to that. But this could very well be the tape that he was alluding to in the email of whatever happened, because he didn't go to sleep in that bed. He was completely moved. Okay? And didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then this happens. Right? Now, after consuming this pill that knocked him out, he said that his life went down a weird spiral, right? Consistent paranoia. His mind wasn't right. He said he knew Taekwondo. He's doing Taekwondo on trees in public places. He's carrying around a pocket knife, stabbing trees. He's having hallucinations of Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And during this interview, he's talking to Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane, by the way, who now has a podcast that launched right around the time that the Diddy trial started. And his mom is there as well, talking about how she was viewing this, watching her son go down this downward spiral, losing his mind, people calling her saying, hey, did you see your son? Somebody filmed a Facebook video of your son out here, looking a little bit disheveled, looking wild. Okay? His mom goes on in the interview to talk about how she was never really fond of Don Rashard to begin with. She always felt like there was something that was off about her. She would tell Q this, however, he was in love, he loved her, therefore he remained with her, stood by her. But she, as in his mother, to this day still feels like Don is to blame for a lot of what Q went through, because had he never had this mysterious pill, perhaps things would have been very different for him in his life. Now, she's not absolving Diddy of what he did. She's not absolving Diddy of whatever experiences that those guys with Day 26 had, or what he had specifically in his dealings with Diddy. But this particular drug that he had completely fucked him up. Okay, that's their assessment of the situation. Dawn then comes on social media. She catches wind of this interview. She drops a press statement. She tweets and deletes it. Very short. Very interesting statement. I didn't feel like it was very detailed. I don't feel like she did a lot to absolve herself. It seemed very cold and callous, to be honest, the way that it was posted, which is probably what led her to take it down. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first, let's get into the actual audio of Q recounting this situation, and then we'll work our way to what's going on afterwards. My bad, y'all. I ain't even had a motherfucking sound on.
We were in the Hamptons. We were in the studio in New York City, and I was with Dirty Money. At this time, I was around Dirty Money for about a year while they were creating Last Train to Paris. And I guess I was around because I was dating Dawn. I just happened to be around. So Diddy's like, I think he was very, very high. He's like, we're going to go to the Hamptons. He was like, we're going to go stay the night there and you guys want to come. And it felt very weird because this energy just felt so weird. You know what I mean? It was friendly high. You know what I'm saying? Like a friendly invitation to something.
He wasn't usually like that?
No, he's never invited all of us to one of his houses. Oh. So before we get to the Hamptons, they're like speeding in these black SUVs on the expressway very, very fast. Like they were in a rush to get to the Hamptons. We get to the Hamptons and we walk through the house and we arrive in the backyard near the pool. And my ex at the time, which was Dawn, she gave me an ecstasy pill. And she says...
Is that what she said it was?
Yeah, she said it was ecstasy, and she said it was from Puff to give to me. And it was red. And I took it because I thought I was going to get freaky with my girlfriend, you know? We tried ecstasy before, and I trusted her that's what it was. So I took it immediately, and she had one too. He gave her two of them. I took mine. Within like 20 minutes, I knocked out and blacked out. Yeah. I woke up in the twins' bedroom in the basement, and I woke up out of my sleep screaming very, very loud.
Who are the twins?
I don't know their names.
Are you talking about Diddy's
Diddy's
daughters?
twins. Yeah.
Okay.
Diddy's twins. His girls. Yeah. I woke up in their bed to cameras filming me, and they were laughing as I woke up out of my sleep, screaming. And it felt like... I'm not going to cry.
Okay.
Yeah, take your time. It's okay. It's understandable that you're reliving this and emotion comes with it. There's just no way around it. So
it felt very sacrificial. That's what I meant when I said I felt like they were trying to hurt me or Diddy was trying to maybe sacrifice me that night. I didn't say when I went on Vlad TV, I didn't say anything about finding a sacrificial email.
Hold on. What he's discussing in regards to Vlad TV is that's one of the interviews that the boys did. He had to leave gaps within that interview, and they decided to fill those gaps. It's kind of what I've experienced this past week. As you guys know, we started this out, and it was, we all have this intention to talk our way through to the end of this trial and hopefully see justice for whatever is proven and whatever the jury decides. Even you had situations that were just made up out of nowhere. So did I last week. Q's discussing one in which he couldn't say certain things because he's honoring a contract. And within that, people decided to fill in the blanks. So he discussed an email. He had tears. People put it together that he's crying over an email and what it basically tried to suggest that he's not a man and he's boo-hooing over an email and so on and so forth.
Boozy said something crazy. I'm going to stop you. Boozy said...
You have to explain who everybody
so
is. So
Little Boozy is a rapper, and respectfully, I want to say to him, like that's not... You shouldn't have said that I wanted to get effed by Diddy or that's possibly the reason why I'm crying. You know what I mean? That's messed up. You don't know me at all, Mr. Boozy. And you didn't hear the story that I just told. And
the fact that he's even remaining respectful while talking about Boosie lame ass is commendable in its own right, because I can't guarantee that I would be nearly as inviting in the way I would speak about something if I were in his position. I would be probably lashing out, to be real. but the way he's, keeping his candor is commendable.
If you would have heard that, maybe you would have had a different like reaction. And to Chopper and to Stevie J, who also responded like
So
respectfully.
basically, these are all people. They are all colleagues of Q's in
Yeah.
the industry.
Yeah, I just want to say respectfully to them, just like, don't believe everything before you actually hear the truth, because people will edit things, and I don't have nothing bad to say about them at all. I just want them to just understand that, be respectful to everyone's trauma. You don't know when a person's still healing and going through the process of healing.
Yes.
And you can add, you don't know if I'm still thinking like I want to hurt myself, or I'm scared and thinking someone's going to, all those mental thoughts. You don't know what I'm going through for you to say those mean things to just add on to my mental health.
I know there are some details about the incident you described. Maybe you don't want to get into. And
no, let's get into it.
Okay, we can.
Talk.
Can I go with how, I know you can be open about how it made you feel, right? So you're saying after this particular incident, you left there feeling, you called it sacrificial, but did you felt as if they
were going to hurt me in my sleep, because I woke up screaming. I woke up out of my sleep screaming. So what I mean by it felt like sacrificial, it felt like someone was trying to hurt me or take me out, because I possibly couldn't have woke up out of my sleep that night.
Do you know what happened to you?
I woke up screaming like a girl to the top of my lungs on a high pitch.
Well, did you have clothes on?
I think I was in my shorts, because I remember jumping into a swimming pool.
But do you believe that some of what happened to you was recorded on one or many of these iPhones?
Oh, yeah. I saw phones and lights. It wasn't a video camera. It was a phone camera light.
So there are people who do know what happened to you, and there's a reason you believe why they're not telling you?
Yes.
That's some eerie shit, man. And who knows what the fuck that is about? Like, but based on what we have come to know about Diddy and whatever the fuck he had going on, I mean, couldn't have wanted you knocked out for positive reasons. I'll just go there. I'm not going to infer anything. Y'all heard it. I'm sure everybody will come to their own conclusions of what could have happened while he was knocked out, okay? Now, let's move forward. Let's get into Dawn's response that has actually been taken down, but she released a statement after she caught wind of this interview. So this here is the statement from Dawn. She says, "I want to be unequivocally clear. I have never drugged anyone, nor have I ever given anyone pills to take. The suggestion that I did so is categorically false. If such a belief were genuine, it would be inconsistent with the actions that followed, such as inviting me into your home, introducing me to your younger sisters and family, and continuing a relationship with me. It would also be inconsistent with choosing to attend social events without me, engaging with individuals I had previously expressed concerns about, and continuing to live with or provide favors to those same individuals. Many of these actions occurred while I was not present or even in contact with you. Throughout our time together and even after our separation, I made a conscious decision not to share or disclose private matters or the circumstances surrounding the end of our relationship to protect you. I did this out of respect for you and your family. At this moment, I believe it is essential to recognize that many people are dealing with pain and hardship. This situation is not about one person. It reflects broader harm that has affected many. I sincerely hope that healing and wholeness are possible for all involved. My intention is and always has been to move forward with compassion and integrity, and I pray that others can do the same." This is Don Rashard's response to what Q had to say. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I feel like this statement was bullshit. Okay? I'm going to be honest. I don't give a fuck. And I do believe Don's story for the most part of what she said she went through with Diddy. I also believe that if Diddy gave you something to give to someone else, you would have done it, just like so many others in his circle were basically under his thumb and had to carry out what he asked or what he wanted. Do I think both of y'all are victims? Absolutely. But do I think that Q is lying about y'all taking ecstasy? No. And if you can't even be honest about the fact that y'all took ecstasy together because you say you ain't never gave pills to nobody, then how can I actually feel that you're being genuine about the fact of this red pill that he says he got directly from you? And he gave us a location and a time period of when this happened. So what are we supposed to do with that? It makes Dawn look worse, right? Because she just went on the stand a week ago and contradicted many of her claims in her own lawsuit. She couldn't recollect the things that were in her own lawsuit when her lawsuit just came out months ago. How could you not remember what's in it? So now I got to look at Dawn with a little bit of a side eye. Although I do believe that she was taken advantage of. I do believe she was inappropriately touched. I do believe that Diddy was in control of her from the rooter to the tutor, if that's so what he wanted. And I believe that that runs true for just about anybody that was underneath him, to be honest. But again, if you can't even be honest about what you did do, how can I believe when you tell me that what you didn't do? It's kind of tough. I ain't going to go in on her, but it's tough. So Q puts out another statement here. Hold on, y'all. Let me get to this a little larger. So here's additional context from Q. He says, I take full accountability for what I allowed into my life, which I like to hear. I like to hear accountability because in the end, I had a choice, as in he didn't have to take it, right? But let me be candid. I genuinely believed I was taking something I'd tried before. It wasn't ecstasy. It turned out to be a horse tranquilizer. My fucking God. Forgive me, Lord. It turned out to be a horse tranquilizer given to me by my ex-girlfriend who claimed it was from her boss to give me. Roughly 20 minutes after swallowing that red pill, my body heated up and I collapsed into unconsciousness, and she claims to have no recollection of this whatsoever. He says, I remember being on the upper level of the mansion near the pool and then nothing. I later woke up in a room downstairs, lying in a bed with no memory of how I got there. I emerged from a deep, paralyzing sleep, screaming and sobbing, my body in shock, my mind spinning in confusion. The horror of realizing I'd been drugged with something far more potent than I was led to believe shattered me. He's got more details here. He says, there were 2 red pills. She never took hers. That part always haunted me. It felt less like a shared experience and more like an experiment. Like I was a lab mouse in some twisted trial to see how fast I'd collapse. And none of it was funny. It was terrifying. My trust had been manipulated and my vulnerability exploited. After I came to, I began experiencing disturbing psychological symptoms, auditory hallucinations, racing thoughts, intense paranoia, and crushing anxiety. My thoughts weren't clear. My memory started slipping. It felt like my mind had regressed. I was forced to relearn basic things with the support of doctors and loved ones. The pill had broken me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Whatever ritual, spell, or manipulation that pill carried, it hijacked my autonomy. I began isolating myself, Sleep became my only escape from the pressure in my skull. I truly believed it was orchestrated by her boss, a display of power meant to destabilize a weak mind and instill fear. To anyone quick to judge or dismiss my trauma, please remember you weren't there. Mental health is a silent war, one I've fought in the shadows for too long. When you love someone, you're willing to go to unimaginable lengths for them. Trust becomes your compass. This journey I'm on is about reclaiming my power, choosing truth, and healing out loud. Okay? So Q is staying consistent with his story. He gives more details of what happened in that story. And again, Dawn acts as if she has no recollection of any such event. She claims she never gave him no pill, no nothing, period. Not experimenting, not in the bedroom, and not that red one that he's talking about. But within a very short period of her putting that statement out, it was down. She took it down within minutes. The weak statement that she put out actually sounded eerily similar to the type of statements that Diddy released publicly after the Cassie video surfaced online. Right? Categorically false. I've never done these things. Then people find out you did. So that's where we're at with that. You know, maybe we'll get more updates to come. Probably not going to get an admission of guilt from Dawn there. But I think if she, based on, you know, even her own lawsuit, the coercion, the control, the power, I think I would have received it a little better if she just owned up to it and said, you know, I did give it to him. I didn't know what I was giving him. I didn't take it because I wasn't familiar with it, but, you know, it was given to me by Diddy. We you know, I trusted what he was, that it wasn't going to be that crazy. I didn't expect him to be unconscious in 20 minutes. I didn't know what was going to happen. I would have respected that a little bit more, just to say, you know, I fucked up and I apologize and I'm deeply sorry for what happened on the back of that. Not to say you would be necessarily forgiven by your fans, which I know that's what she's trying to protect, is the remaining fans that she has. She doesn't want them to feel like, oh my God, you drugged Q. But that's just how I'm looking at it, man. I don't think anybody in that bad boy camp or circle could possibly have completely clean hands. I don't think that the structure of the way Diddy set things up was for nobody to have clean hands. The whole thing is for you to have some level of skin in the game so that you can never go against me. I'm always going to have things to hang over your head, whether you participated willfully or not. So if I go down, you go down. Sounds like an orchestrated thing to me, which is what they're on trial for. Or he's on trial for, let me be specific. So yeah, man. There's that. We'll see if there's anything else to come. Again, I'm not saying that Dawn is the devil, but I am saying I wish Dawn could own up to what she did. And I still believe that Dawn was subjected to the unfortunate events and coercion and being taken advantage of that she claims. But of course, it doesn't look good to be placed as both victim and, you know, drugging somebody. It kind of takes away the firepower in your claims. So I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest, but drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries, stand for my honor. But too raw, no corner, packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.